Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. Not a very encouraging start to the week for people that are keeping up with national politics and worldwide politics. Obviously everybody wants to do their part with making. Obviously, everybody wants to do their part with making this world a better place. I think that it could be discouraging when you have the type of people in power that are the people that want to lose 100 pounds in 2 days. Of course, everybody wants to give up. So that's not good leadership. And I think that it's a gimmick. I think that um, it my intuition, instinct, whatever it is, it tells me that um, it's just something that is always going to be held over everybody's head because it has been going on since the 80s. Nothing gets done. And unfortunately, the thing is that, people in leadership are smart because they're smart enough to get in the position of power. So they know what they're doing. They know that there's laws that they can put in order to either encourage certain behavior, and then there's laws that discourage other behavior. And if they wanted to, save, planet Earth, is they wouldn't be as scummy. They wouldn't be as deceptive. Um, I think that I know for a fact that if the whole point was, and let's be clear on one thing, let's get one thing out of the way. I am coming from an angle when I draw my opinions and conclusions that the United States is the world power, that historically we've been the nation and the people that are there to be that the first. We're the first, and we are also the um, morally driven to protect the the rest of the world. We help people with bringing up their own country, with modernizing it and making it a better place to live. We help them when they're being attacked. We Because we're the morally superior. Historically speaking, we've been that. So that's my angle. That's what I know was supposed to be the trajectory of the United States, except that people had to go and thieve the election like a bunch of thugs. So what to do? You just have to kind of keep going and moving forward, and knowing that really this guy's got tops 8 years, really. But I mean, hopefully he gets himself impeached, which he's already doing a great job at. Um, so if we really wanted to make a difference, it would start with eliminating um, the behind closed door sweetheart deals with lobbyists um, and pretending to be an influential power with other countries when you're obviously creating a all the conditions necessary for other nations like China and Russia to get ahead. For God knows what reason, really. I think that, Joe Biden is going to die soon, and he's not going to be around to clean up any of his chaos. It's like a bad dog that goes around shitting all over the place. You can't like train an old dog to, he's an old dog, but I mean, it's like a metaphor. It's like an old dog that you can't teach a trick to. You can't teach any tricks. He thinks he's got all the tricks, so he goes his trick, but he thinks that shitting all over the place is the trick. So, so what do you do? Um, so I get metaphors and analogies and similes. So when people say things like chlorine is a disinfectant on surfaces, like remedial medication is cleansing in your body. Like I got that analogy, like that, that was like this. It's an analogy. He was just comparing two different. Trump was comparing two different. But how petty is Saki that she has to like like bulldog it on sticking to this nonsense because she knows that Biden is a major loser that needs that kind of attention. Like if they can't detract attention from Joe Biden, then it's like, why are you sticking to, like, seriously? That wasn't even a gaffe. That was an analogy. Like, I mean, I don't make excuses and try and put words in people's mouth like ever really, but I can at least, with everything else in consideration, I can assess from a logical and objective standpoint what the person is meaning when in the context, in the larger context of who the person is and what he's trying to convey and what the current topic is. It's not like the gaffe that Joe Biden has, like to create pity, like falling asleep and like wanting to brand himself as like the stupid old grandpa that like needs help. Yeah, you do, but you shouldn't be president. um so there's a lot of different ways that you can uh, implement a lot of the different a lot of the different visions for this country that you might have, and it's not being a tyrannical uh, piece of work. It's not going to be by trying to terrify people about climate change and viruses. We're big boys and girls. We should have a doctor that is gonna be in our care. We should have the local resources. Um, we should be mindful of landfills and having more trees and planting trees and that sort of thing and being and living within our means. And there should be laws that encourage us to live that way, not laws that want to have us terrified, which is what you're doing. But that it really it's really it's the polarization that um is very like representative. Like I think in no other time, I mean, I don't know, I like maybe I'm just maturing and I can see things differently and I'm going to stand up for what I see it, for how I'm going to call it like I see it. um but it's all a joke, really, and it's upsetting. And unfortunately, is nice people are gonna, like, they don't know how to handle evil. They don't know. I mean, I've lived with like a very evil person whom also happens to be the father of my children. So I've been very delicate and sensitive about how it affects my kids, the way that I have to deal with this animal. I mean, I don't know what else to call him. I think most people would agree. And I am the best thing he had in his life. And that was kind of the purpose, is it is good against evil. Is I want to show him he doesn't get to convert me into what he wants and into what he sees in me. He's jaded, he's just corrupt and evil, and like wants to project himself on other people. I didn't let him have that way. I grew stronger for it, because with that also came trying to diminish my credibility and self-esteem, etc., like all the good stuff that come with a domestic violence situation. So luckily I'm very self-sufficient, I'm independent, and I love being without that kind of company. So anyway, I wanted to also share, and yeah, I wanted to share what some notes that I jotted down, just to kind of bring clarity back to my head, my mind, and share with other people how I sort of like, come back to what I've always, what I know is right. And so the title is Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. We can't lie to, I mean, we can lie to ourselves, and we can, pretend that we're, like good, and we should get a pass, and we need to get excuses. But when you're in kindergarten and you have to deal with like all these kids and you have a good teacher, I mean, at least a kindergarten that I know. I don't know now with these teachers that have no vocation. I mean, they may as well really just be strippers. Really, I mean, consider that. There's good money there, I hear. Um, I I've never had to, thank God. I mean, yeah, no, I couldn't compete with you ladies. Um, no, seriously, I mean, consider doing something a little bit more at your level. But if you don't have a like vocation to be a teacher, and you can't like be like truly an altruistic person, why bother? Like, don't put kids through that. You don't deserve that title, and you don't deserve the power, the little power you have. You're like a little, pathetic petty person that wants to have like the classroom and be in power and in control. You're an ogre, and you're a fucking piece of work yourself. So let's talk about how to think about our leadership, and what we should demand of them, because life is hard work. They always say like relationships are hard work, relationships are hard work. Yes, it is. But the all that ends up happening, if you can't take care of yourself, is you might want to drag other people down with you. Like, you may, it just kind of like your own boat is sinking, and you're just like sinking everybody else down with you, trying to pull them down, and it's like it's not a good thing. So you have to learn that you're you can't control. um God is only going to put as much on you that he knows you can handle, and as much as he puts on you, it makes you a better and stronger person in his eyes, and you will be rewarded much more than you would if you didn't accept it. And his fate, if you fail, he's always there to pick you up, and get you in good spirits again, and you keep going. But we have to put ourselves through our own we have to scrutinize ourselves and examine our own conscience. I've said this before, so let me just go ahead and read through the notes I jotted down just to get it out of the way. So leadership all trickles down. Yeah, trickle down, trumped up. Who cares? I mean, it really does start at the tone at the top. If you There's already too many like really lost people um, that are lost because they feel impotent. They don't have the position of power. They feel that they can't. So on top of the fact that there's like trashy people at the top, well, it's like having trashy people, the same kind of trashy minded people at the bottom, but they're also impotent. They're also like not able to actually, like, they feel they can't make a difference. So it just adds to like the frustration. And um and and so people that are in my situation, that are like a person that like believes in steady evolution, and in a um sustainable progress, not like insane progressive, like I'm just gonna bulldoze over everybody progressive. Like, screw you. Like, bulldoze over your mother. You probably already did by the way. Anyway, why? Okay. So signs of a bad leader: over promising, false promises, and the like. How the middle class disappears as a result of inconspicuous greed. Right. So I mean, I think they're just polarizing, and anyway, people like me are kind of stuck between, like, I know that I'm not in an affluent position. I know I'm definitely not going to be like a trashy person. I mean, if I were going to be a trashy person, I would have been a trashy person a really long time ago. Like, like somebody that's just like That's it. Like they gave up on life and then they just want to like give up on life and be trash. How to identify the connivers? Their actions are suggestive that you're either already a failure or that you're doomed to fail. So they treat you like they want to handicap you. I mean, there's like already so many examples of that with Democratic leadership, you know. This is their projection. This is coming from what how they think inside. And it it's an indirect impact on the rest of us, on their constituents. Even if I'm not these people's constituents, if it's a place like New York and you have like an AOC, and New York is like supposed to be like this like, you know, like overly worshipped, overrated city, it's going to affect everybody else. And it's not that's not right. That's not right. That's wrong. That's really wrong. Okay. So they don't address controversies surrounding their unethical behavior. They want to blame the other party for the same thing down the road. So again, is it's them projecting. If they are ever caught in a controversy, is they're thinking in their head like, all right, I'll get you. Like I'll get you, and like even if you're not going to have a controversy, is there like, you know, going to fabricate it eventually because that's what they think it's about. Like that's like dirty politics at a whole other level. So they rely on sensationalizing, using people as a means to their end, and confuse ideas. They avoid a clear and concise plan. Most of all, they rely on the good-hearted to be their foot soldiers. They need uneducated people with no means to use as their parrots. And yeah, they need ignorance. You know, they need ignorance that like could be good people, but they're just like good people that are just going to be people that are in service, that are like the humble, you know, ranchers, and you know have no ambition but to um aspire for their kids to get educated and be a, you know, some kind of leap in the next generation, but they're not going to push it. And that's what these people rely on, you know, at the end of the day, because I mean, believe me, the looters, they're eventually going to have to you know, they'll eventually pay. um and and then there's it's just going to be more chaos and more chaos. It's the good people that are like are really gonna make everything go round, and I guess that's everything I had. I guess I've had some comments. I don't check my comments or anything. I don't.